Germs, tiny microscopic invaders that the human race has waged war on with antibiotics, vaccinations, antibacterial products, and airtight environments headlining our defense. We attribute our sniffles, sore throats, aches, and pains to germs. But a relatively new field in science suggests that maybe by attempting to rid our environment of germs and microbes altogether, we actually in turn may not be helping ourselves as much as we think. In a society obsessed with being clean, are we really making ourselves healthier? In the late 1990s, a health researcher named Erika von Mutius developed the hygiene hypothesis, and her results surprised her. In her study, she found that children raised in a modern, clean, sterile environment actually have a higher chance of asthma and allergic reactions than children raised in poorer, dirtier, and less healthful areas. Children who are exposed to more microbes earlier in life will have immune systems that are more tolerant to irritants that cause asthma. The hygiene hypothesis is complemented by the biodiversity hypothesis. The biodiversity hypothesis states that reduced contact of people with natural environmental features and biodiversity may have adverse effects on the effectiveness of their immune system. In a study by Ilka Hansky, published by the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences in 2004, found that atopic individuals are those having a predisposition that makes you more likely to have allergies, tended to have fewer total plant species, as well as fewer uncommon plants in their yard. Atopic individuals also tended to have a lower number of biodiversity among the gamma proteobacteria on their skin. So what is the role of microbes in our lives? Are they invisible invaders or amazing allies?
In class, we investigated how humans influence the microbial diversity on surfaces along a gradient of low to high human influence. The class sampled a number of areas ranging from a car tire of a UST service truck to a bathroom door handle. The areas were swabbed with a Q-tip, and then the bacteria was placed in a liquid solution and then transferred to ecoplates. The ecoplates contained 31 different carbon sources, including a controlled water sample. The degree of microbial functional diversity was indicated by the number of carbon sources metabolized. If a particular carbon source was metabolized by bacteria, then the well would turn purple in color. The color intensity reflected how little or how much the carbon source was used. The deeper the purple color, the more the carbon source had been metabolized. We hypothesized that there would be just as much, if not greater, microbial functional diversity collected from the indoor samples when compared to the outdoor samples. But the results suggested another story.
As seen in this figure, the indoor location had the greatest range of microbial diversity, but the outdoor samples overall had the greatest microbial diversity. Samples of the body were even taken from the foot and arm, but it was found that their diversity was highly comparable to the results from the indoor samples. Some of the areas we thought would be the dirtiest, like the toilet seat and elevator button, were pretty close to sterile. Based on the result we obtained, we live in a more sterile environment than we actually realized. But according to the hygiene and biodiversity hypotheses, this may not be advantageous. In a society where the prevalence of chronic inflammatory disease like Crohn's disease, multiple sclerosis, asthma, allergies, and hay fever is at an all-time high, we may need to rethink how our immune systems are influenced by our attempt to rid our lives of germs. According to the UCLA Food and Drug Allergy Care Center, children with older siblings, daycare experience, or who live in farming communities experience more microbial exposure and have a Th1-dominated healthy immune system, while children raised as an only child in an urban sterile environment are more likely to have a Th2-dominated immune system and asthma or allergies. So how do these findings affect our lives as UST students? Get outside. We spend too much time in classrooms, libraries, and even the gym. Instead of running on a treadmill, run down by the river before Mother Nature releases her fury of snow. Exposure to areas that we might initially think of as dirty and gross may actually make you healthier.